Hello everyone, welcome back to this session of English. In this session, we are going to continue with our topic comprehension ability. Now, this is part number 24. So, in this session, we will discuss, as you can see over here, that in this session, we are going to discuss three passages. That is, passage number 3, passage number 4, and passage number 5. Now, as we have started discussing short or brief paragraphs or passages, so we have already done two passages earlier. In fact, we have also done some example passages of the short passages. So in this session as well, we will be discussing three passages. That is passage number 3, passage number 4, and passage number 5. All these are short paragraphs based on which we will have some questions, and we will discuss each and every question thoroughly with solutions, or you can say explanations. So let's begin the session. So first of all, we'll discuss passage number 3. Okay. So here we have passage number 3. As I have earlier suggested to you that we should first read the entire passage, and after that we should go to the questions. In this session as well, we will discuss the entire passage first. First we'll read the entire passage, and after that we'll go to the questions. So here the passages. The last half of my life has been lived in one of those painful epochs of human history during which the world is getting worse. The last half of my life means when I must have lived my half of my life, or maybe possible I was half of my age. So here the author or the writer, he or she wants to tell us that when he was half of his life. So I don't know who is the author, so maybe possible he or she, whosoever he is. So when he was half of his age, or when he has spent a lot of years of his age, lived one of those painful epochs. So the duration that came has lived in one of okay, the last half of my life. Okay, it means the last years of his life he spent in a painful epochs of human history. It means in that particular duration which suffered a lot, which was very painful. Epochs means period of history. Epochs refers to a period of history, or you can say some duration of history. So it was just that time of history which was very painful. It means there were maybe wars, there were crises and all. So that era was very bad of the history, so which the world is getting worse. It means it was that kind of era, or that era in which world was getting worse. It means there were many crises, there were many false things that were going on in that particular era. And past victories means the win or the victories that they had in past, which had seemed to be definitive, have turned out to be only temporary. Definitive means definitive means that this is final or this is permanent. So what this felt that it is now final, and the word will go in this manner only. It means there were some victories and they thought that everything will go fine now, but it did not happen. In fact, what happened? That turned out to be temporary. It means that victory or that victorious time was not more or no longer. It means somewhere crisis or a bad or adverse situation were there to come, or were knocking at the door. So when I was young, it means the author is saying that when he was young, Victorian optimism means positive thinking of all, positive era of all. So Victorian is actually the age of victory, or you can say it may be possible to that it is related to that Victorian Queen Victoria. Okay, that era was taken for granted. Okay, Victorian optimism, it means the thinking to be victorious, that was taken for granted. It means that was taken lightly. So it was not just like the taste of the of that era's people. It was thought that freedom and prosperity would speed gradually throughout the world by an orderly process. It means everyone thought that it is now freedom and prosperity. They will rise again and again throughout the world in orderly process. It means everything will be regular. And it was hoped that cruelty, tyranny, and injustice would continually diminish. It means people, they thought that now it is a hope that the cruelty, the tyranny, or tyranny means you can say for the country, the bad thinking or the bad you can say tricks that are played for the country, they will be on the diminishing scale. It means they will reduce now. So they thought that injustice will completely diminish, or it will diminish continually. It means it will now onwards, it will diminish, or it will go in decreasing manner. But it does not happen. Hardly anyone was haunted by the fear of great wars. It means there was no person who was afraid of great wars, because everyone thought that it will not happen again. Everything will go fine now. We are at liberty, we are free now, and everything is going fine. Hardly anyone thought of the 19th century as a brief interlude between past and future barbarism. It means it was 19th century that was of peace, that faced peace. Okay. And it is a interlude means gap or interval. So interlude means interval. So it was just an interval between the past, because past was really bad, and the future which is about to come, it was also barbarism, means full of bloodshed, full of wars, full of crisis. So past and the future, in between them, there was a 19th century in which there was pause, there was peace, whereas these two were the phases of wars and crisis. Okay. So no one had ever thought that the wars again will be faced, or that this 19th century is just an interlude, or you can say just the interval between these two you can say drastic periods, or these two very bad epochs. Okay, epochs means period of history. So the 19th century was the peaceful era, but the eras that were behind or ahead of it, they were just full of crisis and wars. So they have talked about this time. So author has lived that particular era, which is very painful. It means after the 19th century. So this is the passage that we have read. This is passage number 3. Now we will be doing some questions based on this. So let's do some questions based on this passage. I hope you understood the meaning of this passage. This is very simple passage, but very meaningful. Okay. So let us start the questions. So first of all, we have first question, that is, the author feels sad about the later part of his life because. So what is the reason? So let us see this. The author feels, okay, now let us see. The author feels sad about what the later part of his life. Later means the second part of his life. Okay, the later years of his life. Okay, the after years of his life. Because why? Uh, the options are: the world had not become prosperous. He was nostalgic. Nostalgic means when someone just you can say remember his past, about his childhood. The world was painfully disturbed during that period of time. The author had not won any further victories. As you can see in the first line, the last half of my life. Last half means when some part of the life has been finished, and the last half, it means the era which was about his dying point. Okay, so towards his dying era. So that particular life. So last half has been lived in one of those painful epochs. Painful means very painful, that the where the crises were there, where wars were there. Epochs means time of history, or the duration of history, or some period in history of human history during which the world is getting worse. So that was the era that was getting that where the world was getting worse. It means that particular era world faced many crises. Therefore feels sad. Why? Just his life, because the world was painfully disturbed during that period of time. So according to the first line of the passage, we can infer that at this time the word was painfully disturbed during that period of time. So here answer should be C. So C will be the correct answer. Now let us move to the next question. I hope you understood this question. Now the next question is the victories of the past. Now let us see the options. A, that is, now these type of questions are like complete the sentence. So the victories of the past filled men with a sense of pessimism. Pessimism means it is actually the opposite of optimism. Optimism when someone feels of at the positive side, and pessimism when someone feels of the decline side. Okay, so pessimism proved to be temporary event, that it was temporary. Ended cruelty, tyranny, and injustice. It means victories of the past, they ended cruelty, tyranny, and injustice, and brought permanent peace and security. So, what did these victories do? Now, as you can see in the third line of the passage, Victorian optimism was taken for granted. Okay, here, sorry, in the second line of the passage, and past victories which had seemed to be definitive have turned out to be only temporary. From this line, it can be inferred that they proved to be the temporary event. Okay, victories, it means the match or the wars that they had won, that those victories were only temporary, they were not permanent. They did not make peace and tranquility, they did not make peace and security. Ended, they did not end. Obviously it is victory, it cannot end anything, but it was not temporary. Sorry, it was temporary, it was not permanent. I'm sorry. So here answer will be B according to the second line of the passage. So answer will be B. Now let us move to the next question. This is question number 3 now. And the next question is the word definitive as used in the passage means. So we have this word definitive, and we have been asked about the meaning of this particular word as used in the passage. Now, maybe possible the meaning of this particular word is something else, but according to the context of the passage, it can be something different. So let us see the options. Incomplete, defined, temporary, or final. Basically, definite means which is fixed, but here past victories which had seemed to be definitive have turned out to be only temporary. Turned out means when something get reversed. Okay, so it must be the opposite of temporary. So definitive, the meaning of this word should be, because victories they seemed to be definitive, it means this word is something positive, and it must be the opposite of the word temporary, because after this turned out to be temporary, it means this is the opposite of the word temporary. Therefore temporary cannot be the answer, and the word definitive is a positive word, it cannot be incomplete. No, it is not defined, it should be final, because they thought that now victories are final, that all of us are victorious permanently, but it did not happen. It turned out to be only temporary. Therefore our answer should be D, that is final. So the meaning of this particular word definitive is final according to the context or the meaning of the passage. I hope you understood this question. Now let us move to the question number 4, and the question is, during the Victorian age, people believed that. Victorian age refers to that particular age in which Queen Victoria reigned. Okay, so during the Victorian age, people believed that. Now what did people believe? Let us see the options first. There would be unlimited freedom, strife would increase. Strife means conflict, or you can say war and fight. So this is conflict. Okay, and peace would prevail and happiness would engulf the whole world. Wars would be fought on a bigger scale. So they are asking about during the Victorian age, people believed that. Now if you see this, Victorian optimism was taken for granted. It was thought. It was thought means it was believed that freedom and prosperity would spread gradually throughout the world by an orderly process, and it was hoped that cruelty, tyranny, and injustice would continually diminish. So, according to this line, we can say that obviously strife would increase. No, this was not the thought of people. In fact, they thought that the people will be free, there will be freedom, there will be peace. Cruelty, tyranny, and injustice will be a diminishing scale. So wars would be fought. This is also incorrect. There would be unlimited freedom, peace would prevail, and happiness would engulf the whole world. So according to this line, it was thought that freedom and prosperity would spread gradually throughout the world by an orderly process, and it was hoped because if cruelty, tyranny will not be there, obviously happiness will prevail, and the correct answer should be C. So it can be inferred from the context or the meaning of the passage. So this is very simple again. So our answer will be C. Okay, I hope you understood this question. Or we cannot say that there would be unlimited freedom, because only freedom will not be there. In fact, freedom and prosperity would speed up, and they hoped for something to be good. So they thought that cruelty, tyranny, and injustice will not there, and will not be there, and of course everyone will be happy, and happiness would engulf the entire world. Okay, so this is the correct answer according to the context of the passage. We cannot only stuck to the freedom word only. Now let us move to the question number 5, and that is, a brief interlude between past and future barbarism can interpreted as. It means they are asking about this particular line, which you can see over here. Hardly anyone thought of the 19th century as a brief interlude between past and future barbarism. Now let us see the options, and the options are: a dramatic performance during wars, an interval between cruel wars, uh, a short space of time between two great events, a short period of time between past and future act of savagery. Okay, so here the correct answer will be, as I told you, that they thought that this 19th century in which they were, uh, the it was no one knew that this 19th century will be just an interlude between the past and the future barbarism. So they are saying past and future as barbarism. It means the time which is very bad, or you can say in which they have seen wars and crisis. So it is not a dramatic performance during wars. No, an interval between cruel wars, a short space of time between two great events. No, it was not great events. They were not great events. A short period of time between past and future acts of savagery. So, of course, it will be uh, D, because savagery means when it is actually actually the synonym of the word barbarism. It means here words are not mentioned directly, but we can assume that yes, of course, something warlike situation or something bad must have happened in that time. Therefore a short period of time between past and future acts of savagery was there. Therefore answer will be D. Okay, so here answer will be D. Now let us move to the next, but here it is question number 5, and in passage 3 we have only 5 questions. So I hope you understood all these 5 questions thoroughly. And now it is time to do passage number 4. So now we will discuss passage number 4. I hope you understood the passage number 3 thoroughly. And it was really a short and a very meaningful passage. Okay, now we'll do the passage number 4. And first of all, we will read the entire passage, and then again we will go to the questions. So here the passage number 4 is. Okay. Now, first of all, let us read the passage. Patience is better than wisdom. It means here the passage must be about patience and wisdom. Okay. Because in the very first line, in the beginning of the passage, we have compared passage with wisdom. An ounce of patience, ounce is some quantity. Patience is worth a pound of brains. It means an ounce of patience, ounce is a little, you can say ounce is less than pounds. Okay. So an ounce of patience, it means a little amount of patience, is worth, it cost pound of brains. It means it is equal. A little amount of patience is equal to a large amount of brains. You can say over here, a little of patience, a little of patience. It means a less quantity of patience is equal to a large quantity of, a large quantity or amount. We can say a large amount of brains. Okay, amount of brains. It means wisdom or intellectual, okay, of brains. Okay, so it means patience is, what can be inferred from here, that patience is uh, larger than intellectual, or you can say patience is bigger than intellectual. All men is actually the plural of men, praise patience. It means everyone praise patience. Okay, they say good about patience, they extol patience, but few can practice it. Few means equivalent to zero. It means no one practice it. Okay, it means no one implement it, no one practice it, though everyone believe that patience is good, but they do not practice it. It is medicine which is good for all diseases. It is actually the medicine of all the diseases. But it is not very, it is not every garden that grows the herbs to make it with. It means it is not every garden. So it is a metaphor over here, that here we have compared garden and men with each other, and metaphorically it has been said by the author that, but it is not every garden, that every garden that grows the herbs to make it with. It means not all the gardens they grow the herbs, or the herbs are grown in, not on, not in the in all the gardens. Many people are born crying. Many people are there who are born crying. It means when they born they cry. Live complaining, it means they live their life complaining only. They are only criticizers, they are only complainers. It means every time they used to complain of one person or the another person or the world. But they are only, they only have complaints, and they don't see the world on a positive scale. They just complain about the word and die disappointed. Okay, so this is a very important line, that many people are born crying, live complaining, and die disappointed. It means they're very sad people. Actually, they think every other person's burden to be light and their own feathers to be heavy as lead. It means they think that every person's burden, it means every person has less burden and their feathers are heavy. This is again a figure of a speech, or you can say a metaphor that implies, it is it is just like a proverb or the metaphor. It is just like that, they think that only their problem is a problem and everyone else has no problem at all, they all are happy instead of them. Okay, so instead of themselves. And yet if the truth were known, it is their fancy rather than their fate. It means if truth is known, or if truth were known, it means in reality it is their fancy. It means it is just their imagination, or it is just their um you can say their nature, that they always remain unhappy. They cannot be happy just because they don't want to be. It is not their destination. It is not like that, yes, they of course are, uh, of course they are in trouble, of course they are in torture. No, not at all. It is just their thinking, it is just their way of living, it is just their style or the nature, that they feel that they are unhappy and all the other people in this world are happy. That makes things go hard with them. In fact, in reality, they are not that much unhappy. Many would be well off, they could but think so. Okay, basically may be possible many of them literally they are very much unhappy, but mostly people of such nature, they are happy, but they just want to complain each and every time. Okay, so this is actually the concept of the passage. I hope you understood the entire passage. Now we will be doing the questions of these passage. of this passage. Okay, based on this passage. So let us start with the questions first of all. So let me take this cursor, and here let us have the first question. So the first question is, which of the following is the most suitable explanation to the author's remark that an ounce of patience is worth a pound of brains? So they are asking about the explanation or the meaning of this remark that an ounce of patience is worth a pound of brains. So what the author is trying to say about this: intelligence and wisdom can be attained only by practicing patience. Patience comes first, intelligence next. Patience is essential for every achievement in life, and without patience, intelligence cannot be uh, used properly. Now, if you see this again, that patience is better than wisdom, it means we know well that patience is bigger than wisdom. Okay, and an ounce of patience, it means a little of patience is a worth pound of brains. It means we need only a little of patience but a large amount of brains. So a large amount of brains is equal to the to an ounce or the little of patience or a little of patience. It means patience is generally greater than or more than intellectual. Okay, brains means intellectual. So here, according to this first line, we can see patience comes first and intelligence next. Okay, so B is the correct answer. Here it is written, intelligence and wisdom can be attained only by practicing patience. No, patience is essential for every achievement in life. Without patience, intelligence cannot be used properly. It is not mentioned. In fact, in the according to the passage, patience is bigger than the intellectual. Therefore, B will be the correct answer. So here, according to the situation, answer will be B. That is, patience comes first, intelligence next. Okay. Now let us move to the question number 2. Which one is the most likely explanation among the following of the author's metaphorical statement that it is not every garden that grows the herbs to make it with? So they are asking about the meaning of this line that is given in the second of the passage. Okay, now let us see the options. Patience is a must for solving all our problems in life. Patience is a rare herb that cures all diseases. Patience is quite difficult to practice. It is only a small number of people that are found observing patience in life. Now, if you see this line, all men praise patience, but few can practice it. It means there is no one to practice it, though they believe that yes, patience. They believe that patience is good and they praise patience. It is a medicine which is good for all diseases. Okay, but it is not every garden that grows the herbs to make it with. Okay, so here if we see in these options, patience is must for solving all our problems in life. No, it's not mentioned. Patience is rare herb that cures all diseases. No. Patience is quite difficult to practice. Though it is yes, still if we see the last option, that it is only a small number of people that are that are found observing patience in life. Now if you see this, uh, you will say that of course this D option will be correct. Why so? Because if we look at the C option, okay, we look at the C option, patience is quite difficult to practice. Of course it is written over here, few can practice it. So according to this line, this is the answer, but they are asking about the meaning of this line, which is used as metaphor, and according to metaphor, it is only a small number of people that found observing patience in life. It means they are saying a small number of people, they are compared with garden metaphorically, because they are asking about the metaphorical statement, and here um, a small number of people have been compared with garden that are found observing patience in life, and herbs are the patients. So metaphorically, D will be the correct answer, because here we can see the entire comparison between these two. Therefore, the correct answer will be D. I hope you got this answer. Now let us move to the question number 3. This is the writer's remark. They think every person's burden to be light, and uh, their own feathers to be heavy as lead is very significant means. So the line which is given over here, they think every other, okay, person's burden. Okay, so here, uh, so they are asking about the meaning of this particular line. So the options are: they are always worried and dejected. They consider their own problem to be difficult to solve as compared with the problems of the other people. They feel that they alone face serious problems while others have a nice time. They remain very much worried about their own problem. So, what they are asking, the writers remark, they think every person's burden to be light and their own feathers to be as heavy as lead. It is very significant. It means, so what does it mean? So they are asking about the meaning of this particular line which is given to us. And as I told you that they think every other person's burden to be light, it means that they think every other person's problems, they are light and they are less, whereas their own problems are wide, or there are many problems in their life, whereas other people, they do not face any problem. So they keep comparing themselves with the other persons of their house as well, that you are happy, I'm not, I'm facing these problems, I'm facing these problems. They always cry of their problems only. Okay. So if we see the first one, that is, they are always worried and dejected, it is not actually the meaning of this particular line, though it can be inferred from the passage that these type of people, they are always worried and dejected. Still, we cannot say that this is actual meaning of this particular line, because they, here in this remark, the author has made the comparison between these two persons as per their thought. They consider their own problem to be difficult to solve as compared with the problems of the other people. So this can be the answer. Let us see the another statement as well. They feel that they alone face serious problems while others have a nice time. Okay. And now B and C, they both can be said to the answers of these, but they are solving, they are comparing their problems with the other. So they are saying not that they are facing the nice time, but they are saying that their burden is less and their burden is more. So they are comparing burden of both the persons. It means they are comparing problems of both the persons. So here the correct answer should be C, that they feel that they alone face serious problems and others have only nice time. It means their feathers to be heavy as lead, because they are comparing their person's burden to be light and their own feathers to be heavy as lead. So they feel that they alone face serious problems only. It means heavy as lead, it means they feel that only their problems are as heavy as lead. It means they are seriously they are in serious problems, whereas others, they spend only nice times, or they are happy all the time. So they just feel themselves to be bearing the burden of this life. Okay. So according to this situation, C will be the correct answer. Now you must be seeing that they consider their own problem to be difficult to solve as compared with the problems of other people. It cannot be the answer, because here they are not comparing the problems of both the type of people. In fact, they are thinking that they have the burden of this problem, their feathers to be heavy as lead, whereas other persons to be light. Okay. It means they think that other people, they do not face problem at all, only they face the problem, and other people, they do not face the problem. So this is their thinking. So therefore our answer will be C. Okay, according to the situation. Now let us move to the next question. And the next question, number 4, is the writer's remark: it is their fancy rather than their fate. Fate means destiny, and fancy means imagination. Okay, means they are unhappy because they think that way and not because it is their destiny. They are fatalists rather than imaginative. It means they believe in destiny. They have a wrong approach to life, or they are very much absorbed in their own problems. According to this, they are unhappy because they think that that way and not because it is their destiny. It means it is not their destiny. It is not actually that they are unhappy. They just show, and they just think that only their problems are the problems. Therefore A will be the correct answer according to the given situation. Now we will be doing passage number 5. I hope passage number 4 is very easy and simple too. And in fact, you can compare that passage, you can relate that passage with many of your relatives or neighbors or the friends. I think so. Well, or maybe known to you. Now, this is passage number 5 that we are going to discuss right now. I hope you understood the entire passage number 4. Okay. Now, this is passage number 5. So, first of all, we'll read the entire passage, and after that, we will be doing the questions based on this passage. So, it is difficult to reconcile the ideas of different schools of thought on the question of education. Reconcile means tolerate the ideas of different schools of thought on the question of education. Some people maintain that pupils at a school, pupils means students, okay, pupils means students at schools should concentrate on a narrow range of subjects which will benefit them directly in their subsequent careers. It means they believe that students should focus on uh, a less number of subjects, only on a particular subject only, that will help him or her in his future or in his career, not all the subjects. Other contend that they should study a wide range of subjects so that they have not only the specialized knowledge necessary for their chosen careers, but also sound general knowledge about the world they will have to work and live in. It means some they feel that they should only study particular subject in which he wants to make the career, and other they feel no, the student should read all the subjects so that apart from that they choose for their career just for the general knowledge, because they have to live in the world and work with the people living in them, living in it, so he must have knowledge about the world. Okay. Supporters of the first theory means those people who think that they should concentrate on a narrow range, it means on particular subjects only, state that the greatest contributions to civilization are made by those who are most expert in the trade of profession. Okay, those who are in trade of profession, they support the first theory. Those on the other side say that unless they have a broad general education, the experts will be too narrow in their outlook to have sympathy with their fellows or a proper sense of responsibility towards humanity as a whole. Okay, it means they think that the experts will be too narrow, it means in their outlook, to have sympathy with their fellows, it means they will sympathize their fellows only, and they will not see the humanity approach over there, so they will support their own only. Okay. So the first question is school of thought can be explained as. So we will be doing these questions. First question is school or schools of thought can be explained as. Schools of thought means here it is given. It is difficult to reconcile the ideas of different schools of thought. Okay, of the question of on the question of education. Groups of people whose job is to think, groups of people who are schooled to think, groups of people who study in a particular school thoughtfully, groups of people having the same ideas but with different perception on a particular subject. Now, as you can see over here, it is difficult to reconcile the ideas of different schools of thought. It means on the question of education, some people maintain that pupils at a school should concentrate. It means some schools or the people who just think that this should happen or this should happen. You can say the management of a school. So, according to the situation, the answer should be D. That is, groups of people having the same ideas but with a different perception on a particular subject. Okay. So we are talking about those. So schools of thought can be explained as groups of people having the same ideas but with different perception on a particular subject. It means they have they have the same ideas on the education, but you can say only their perception related to a particular subject is different. Next question is broad general knowledge is necessary because. So why this broad general knowledge is necessary? So specialization is incomplete without it. Without it, no one would get a job. It teaches us different things, or it broadens one's outlook. Now, if we see others contend that they should study a wide range of subjects so that they have not only the specialized knowledge necessary for their chosen careers but also sound general knowledge about the world they will have to work and live in. Also, from the last line, you can see that those on the other side say that unless they have a broad general knowledge, a broad general education, the experts will be too narrow in their outlook to have sympathy with their fellows or a proper sense of responsibility towards humanity as a whole. So according to this, we can say that answer D is correct. That is, it broadens one's outlook, because as you can see over here, have a broad education, so they will have the broad outlook as well. Otherwise, their outlook will be narrow. Okay, so this will be the correct answer, D. Now let us move to the next question. And the next question number 3 is the idea of the first school of thought in the passage is that first school means where they think that they should have the narrow range of subjects. Now let us see the options. Students should concentrate on studies. A student should not undertake any specialized work. A student should study all the subjects they want to. Students should study a few subjects that will help them in their profession. It is directly given over here that some school maintain that pupils at a school should concentrate on a narrow range of subjects which will benefit them directly in the subsequent careers. So according to this, we can see according to the options given to us, D option is correct, which is given directly in the first two, you can say the second and third line of the passage. Okay, I hope you got this answer. Now let us move to the next question. And now this is question number 4. So supporters of first theory say that, and the options are, experts have contributed most to progress in the modern world. It should be world. Okay, it should be world. So this is modern world. Okay, so this is just a typing error. People with general knowledge have contributed to civilization. First theory say that. Supporters. Okay, experts have done nothing to help mankind. People with general knowledge are more useful than experts. Now they are talking about the supporters of first theory. So as you can see in this line, supporters of first theory state that the greatest contributions to civilization are made by those who are most expert in their trade or profession. Okay, so people with general knowledge have contributed to civilization. Okay, progress in the modern world. Now we see the A that first theory state that the greatest contribution to civilization made by most expert in their trade or profession. So people with general knowledge have contributed to civilization. Experts have contributed most to progress. So here, according to this, first will be the correct answer. Okay, answer will be A, because here it is written people with general knowledge, whereas here it is written experts. Experts means those people who only study a specialized subject, not all the subjects at all. Okay, so they are talking about those people who study only the expertise in the subjects, or you can say those subjects only which they want to study, or only a few subjects. Okay, so here, according to this, A will be the correct answer. Now let us move to the next question. That is question number 5 of the passage number 5. And the question is, according to the second school of thought, education will not be effective, not be very effective if pupils means students. Okay, so let us see the options. And the options are, have inadequate knowledge of their own work, do not have a wide general education, ignore the study of fine arts, have nothing but general knowledge. Okay, now let us read this. According to the second school of thought, education will not be very effective if pupils. So let us read this again. Okay. Others contend that they should study a wide range of subjects so that they have not only the specialized knowledge necessary for their chosen careers, but also sound general knowledge about the world they live, they will have to work and live in. Supporters of the first theory, okay, those on the other side say that unless they have a broad general education, the experts will be too narrow in their outlook of the sympathy with their fellows of, or a proper sense of responsibility towards humanity as a whole. And they are asking, education will not be very effective if pupils have inadequate knowledge of their own work, do not have a wide general education, ignore the study of fine arts, the fine arts is not given over there, have nothing but general knowledge. Okay, so education will not be very effective if pupils, though they support, because they support general knowledge, so we have nothing but general knowledge. So it cannot be the answer, not this. Do not have a wide range of general education. Okay, so I think this will be the correct answer. um, okay, so B should be the correct answer. Yes, according to this, B will be the correct answer, of course, because they think that general knowledge is most important thing. Okay, and of their own work means so only that particular subject which they think or which they consider to be their career. Also, if one study a lot of subjects or many subjects at a particular time, if he has general knowledge, he can do well in various sectors of life. Therefore, the second concept, I hope, is good according to me as well. uh, well, I know, I hope that this passage is also clear to you all, and you have understood each and every question of this passage. Now, it is your duty, it is your responsibility to read the entire passages again and try to solve the questions as many as possible, um, by yourself as well. So, till now, um, in this session, we will discuss only this much. In the next session, we'll be discussing more comprehensions, and I hope you understood each and every question of these three passages in this session. Thanks to you.